ISBN stands for International Standard Book Number, and is the number that is assigned to every single book out there all over the world. This is the number that is used to search a book, whether it be in a library, on an online store, or in a brick-and-mortar store. In this video, we're going to be talking about the difference between a free ISBN and a paid ISBN, and we're also going to be talking about where you can get each of those. So whether you're getting a free ISBN or a paid ISBN, or you don't know which one you want to get yet, this video is going to be your one-stop shop to answer all of your questions. Hello everyone, my name is Mandi Lynn. I'm an author and book cover designer, and I make weekly videos on the business of being an author. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and also hit that bell notification icon so you never miss a new upload. This video is a part of my Beginner's Guide to Self-Publishing a Book series here on YouTube. So if you're self-publishing a book and there's anything about the process that you have questions on, make sure to check out the playlist. It'll be linked in the description of this video. And if there's a topic that isn't covered in that playlist, let me know in the comments down below and I'll make sure to do a video on it. Now, before we jump into free versus paid ISBNs, I wanted to talk about first what you need to know before you get an ISBN. So like I said earlier, all books need an ISBN, and you actually need a different ISBN for each edition of your book. So if you have a paperback book, you need an ISBN for that. And then if you also have a hardcover edition of that same book, you actually need a separate ISBN. Now, on that same note, you actually don't need an ISBN for the ebook edition of your book. You can get an ISBN for the ebook edition of your book, but it's not actually required. So whether or not you get an ISBN for your ebook is totally up to you. Of course, if you're going to be going the paid route, it makes sense to just skip getting an ISBN for your ebook just for the sake of saving yourself money. So now that we know the basics of which editions require ISBNs and which editions don't require ISBNs, let's talk about free versus paid ISBNs. So what is the point of a free ISBN and a paid ISBN? A free ISBN is an ISBN that is assigned to you in your book from a print-on-demand company. So if you work with Kindle Direct Publishing, aka KDP, they will actually assign a free ISBN to your book if you would like the free ISBN. There are other print-on-demand companies that give out free ISBNs as well, but KDP is the most popular. Now, the only issue with this is that when you go to the listing page of your book, they will actually list the print-on-demand company as the publisher rather than you. And that can be a big deal depending on whether or not you even care about that factor. So if you get a paid ISBN, you get to control who is listed as the publisher, and 9 times out of 10 you'll either list your own name or you'll list your book publisher name that you yourself established. So for me, my publisher is listed as Stone Ridge Books because I have an LLC called Stone Ridge Books. I have a whole website. I've also started publishing my nonfiction under the pen name Stone Ridge Books. So for me, it's just an organization and tax thing, but there are other reasons that you may want to start an LLC as well, and that's a little more complicated. So if you want to have the conversation of whether or not you should start an LLC and have an LLC, be sure to watch one of my other videos. I will leave it linked in the description of this video. Starting an LLC to start a publishing company is totally up to you and definitely not required. But if you purchase an ISBN that you will then own, you can list yourself or your publishing company as the publisher. It's also important to consider what your goals are in publishing your book. So if you're publishing one book and you think you'll only ever publish one book, it's usually safe to say that you're probably fine with going with one of the free ISBNs. I always say if publishing the book is more of a hobby than anything else, just go with the free ISBNs. But if you want to make book publishing more of a business thing and you want to make money off of it and you want to publish more books in the future, I always tell people to consider getting a paid ISBN. And the only reason why I say this is because when I first started publishing, I published my book under free ISBNs, but then later I published another book using a paid ISBN, and I wanted all my books to be under the same publisher on the back end metadata. I republished my first books with a new ISBN that I owned, and it basically meant that I published a second edition of all those older books that I had. So for me, I kind of wish I had done paid ISBNs from the beginning because it would have made my life a lot easier, because it's hard to publish second editions with a new ISBN number and then link those books together so they aren't listed as two separate books on retail websites, but it is something that is possible to do. Now, I actually used to say to people whenever they were like, should I get a free ISBN or a paid ISBN? I would always ask, do you want to publish with Ingram Spark? Because it used to be that Ingram Spark would only let you publish with an ISBN that you purchased and privately owned. However, they did make the update that you can actually use free ISBNs with Ingram Spark. So now, whether or not you want to publish with Ingram Sparks, it's no longer a deciding factor on whether or not you should use a free ISBN or a paid ISBN. The big thing with free ISBNs, though, is oftentimes the free ISBN that you use for your print-on-demand company can only be used with that one print-on-demand company. For example, Ingram Spark will only take free ISBNs that are from Ingram Spark. But if you try to use that same free ISBN on KDP, they won't let you, and same with Barnes & Noble Press. So if you're someone who plans on using multiple print-on-demand companies, like you plan on printing your paperback book through Ingram Spark for the expanded distribution, and also printing your paperback book through Amazon to sell on Amazon at the best royalty rate possible, you will have to use two different free ISBNs. However, if you use two different free ISBNs, that means that your book will actually be listed twice on Amazon. One listing is the Ingram Spark listing, and the other listing is the KDP listing. So that's where things get a little more complicated. And you can avoid having your book listed twice on Amazon in a couple different ways. The first and easiest way is to use a paid ISBN, and that allows you to use that same ISBN on Ingram Spark as well as on KDP. And when you use the same ISBN for both places, it will actually link up in the metadata, and your book will only be on Amazon once, and KDP will be the one that fulfills the Amazon orders, and Ingram Spark will fulfill all the other expanded distribution orders that aren't from Amazon. The other solution, if you don't want to pay for an ISBN and you still want to use one of the free ISBNs, is to just publish your book through Ingram Spark, and you'll have your book for sale on Amazon as well as all the other expanded distribution options that Ingram Spark offers. However, the royalty rates for Ingram Spark is not nearly as good as the royalty rates for KDP, so you'll actually make more publishing your book through KDP. I also want to note, if you end up working with Ingram Spark, I highly recommend doing as much research as possible before you work with them. They're not the most user-friendly platform, and it's definitely not designed for beginners in mind. I actually have an entire playlist on Ingram Spark, and I ask that if you work with them, please watch through the entire playlist to avoid all the many mistakes that I came into contact with when working with them for the first couple of times. They can be a great company because their books are high quality, they have expanded distribution, and it allows you to get into brick and mortar stores as well as libraries, but I can't ignore the fact that I've come into a lot of issues as an author that is impossible to ignore. In the long run, when it comes to free versus paid ISBNs, it's not that big of a deal. Really, the only time it's a big deal is when you do know for a fact that you want to publish with Ingram Spark. Otherwise, the rest of it is just labels on the back end that no one knows about except you. When readers are buying a book, they're not really checking who the publisher is. They don't really care. All they care is whether or not the book sounds like it'd be interesting and something they would like to read. So let's move on to the next section of video to talk about where to get free ISBNs, which is actually why I'm sitting at my desk here today, so I can show you on my computer where you're going to get free ISBNs. Alright, so I'm in Kindle Direct Publishing right now because I feel like this is going to be the print-on-demand company that most people will be using, especially if you're using them to get a free ISBN. And I don't want to go through the entire process of uploading your book to KDP. If you want to know how to upload your book to KDP, watch my tutorial on that. I also have tutorials on Barnes & Noble Press and Draft to Digital. All of those tutorials for paperbacks are there and available for your viewing. But when you're doing the uploading process, you're going to be first on this paperback details page. And on this paperback details page, you put in stuff like the book titles, series, author, contributors, description, keywords, categories. You get the idea. And then you're going to hit save and continue, and you'll be brought to the next page of KDP, and that is the content page. So before we were on the details page, now we're on the content page, and you can see that right here. So the first thing on the content page is your print ISBN. Now obviously I've already uploaded and published this book that we're looking at right now, which is Let the Rebel Fall. It's my young adult coming of age romance story. So because this book is already published, I can't do anything to mess with the ISBN, but you can see the ISBN option right here. So when you're uploading your book for the first time, you'll see two options: get a free KDP ISBN or use your own ISBN. So if you're gonna want a free ISBN, you make sure that this box is checked off, and then after you check off that box, you'll see another button that says assign me an ISBN. And then once you click that, they'll just assign you an ISBN. And once they assign you an ISBN, just make sure to document that on your end so you know which ISBN is for which book. That way when you go to do the copyright page of your paperback book, you can easily grab your ISBN, or you'll have easy access to your ISBN whenever you may need it. Now obviously if you don't do a free ISBN, you can see this is also the point where you would click off use my own ISBN, you paste in the ISBN that you purchased, and then you put in your publisher, which for me is Stonebridge Books. Speaking of paid ISBNs, how exactly do we get a paid ISBN that we privately own? So that's where this website comes in. This is myidentifiers.com, and it's a website that does a couple of things for authors, but I personally only use them for ISBNs. If you want to click around and explore the different things, feel free to, but again, I just use them for my ISBN. So first thing you're going to want to do is go to myidentifiers.com and make an account. So when you make an account, you put in your contact information and you also put in your publisher information. So once you've created your account, it's very simple to buy your LLCs. You're going to go to the Register and Copyright Book tab. There's Buy ISBNs or Buy ISBNs in bulk. Now the bulk option is buying literally thousands of ISBNs, so I don't recommend that. I would just go to the Buy ISBNs option. And you'll see here that even though this isn't considered bulk, you as a small publisher can buy in bulk as well. And you'll see the price of one ISBN is $125, or for 100 ISBNs, the price is $575, and you can see how it goes up from there. Now down here we also have the option of barcodes, and honestly it really frustrates me that they sell barcodes because you don't need them. I don't know why they do this, and I'm sure there are certain circumstances where you do need barcodes, especially when you're printing your book independently, like you're not doing a print-on-demand company. I'm sure it would be worth it to have a barcode, but I also know there are websites out there where you can create barcodes using your ISBN for free. Granted, when you buy barcodes here, you can see you're buying 10 ISBNs and a barcode, but I just think this is stupid, and I don't know why they sell barcodes, because you do not need to buy barcodes. When you take your ISBN that you purchase and you use it on KDP, KDP creates a barcode for you. When you take your ISBN that you purchase and you use it on Ingram Spark creates a barcode for you. Same with Barnes & Noble, same with Draft2Digital. All the print-on-demand companies will give you a barcode. You do not need to buy a barcode. Unless there's some circumstance that I'm not aware of, you do not need a barcode. You will get a barcode for free through your print-on-demand company, or your cover designer will create a barcode for you as well. So with that little rant to the side, you can choose which bulk option you want when you're purchasing your ISBNs. I personally started with getting 10 ISBNs at $295, and then when I went through all 10 of my ISBNs, I purchased 100 ISBNs for $575, and now I hope that I'll never have to buy ISBNs again, because as you can see, they're not cheap. Once you purchase your ISBNs, they'll be on your account, so then you just go to the My Account section and then click Manage ISBNs. Now we can see here I have 110 ISBNs, and we can see a few of them right at the top here. Some of them already are green and they're checked marks because they're assigned. Others are incomplete, like I had started doing a hardcover edition for Meet Me at the Summit, but then I never finished doing it. I do promise you guys I will publish a hardcover edition of Meet Me at the Summit someday, just not anytime soon, I don't think. And then Down at the bottom, we have my ISBNs that have not been assigned to any book yet. So this is what your ISBNs are going to look like. And what you're going to do is you're just going to find whatever ISBN you want. It's not a big deal. It doesn't matter which one you pick, and click Assign Title. From here, you're just going to fill out all the required information. And I literally only fill out the required information. So that sort of information is stuff like the book title, the medium, so if you want to choose print, then the format, so it's going to ask you whether it's going to be hardcover or paperback. You're going to be putting in the genre, and you can also put in a second genre, but the first genre is the only one that's required. Then there's a section for authors and contributors, and then there's a spot for pricing and publication date and title status. So this one is the only one that I think can be a little confusing, because odds are you're going to assign your ISBN way before the book is actually published. You can assign your ISBN literally at any time. Like, I could be filling this out for the book that I'm writing right now. It doesn't matter, but you do have to put in a publication date. So just wait until you know what the publication date is before you start assigning the ISBN. But then you need to put title status. So if the publication date is in the future, just put forthcoming. That's what forthcoming means. It's basically coming soon. If it's a book that's already been published and is out, you can put it as active record. And the last thing here is target audience, which is basically just saying what the age range is for the book. And you also want to put in the price of the book. And honestly, like I said, only fill out the required information. I actually don't even upload my book cover. And that's how you get a paid ISBN. And like you saw earlier, once you have a paid ISBN, you just copy and paste it into whatever print-on-demand company you're using. So that is everything you're going to want to know as a self-publisher using an ISBN. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments of this video. That is it for this video. I'll see you all next week.